BB27 live feed spoilers. Happy Saturday night, everybody. Smash the like. We have a lot to talk about, a lot to spoil, a lot to roast on these Big Brother live feeds. So smash the like, hit the subscribe, grab a beverage. Hopefully, you're wearing something very comfy. And let's get this party started.
If you like what you see, come and get it with me. I know you deserve all you want. Cause your heart's made of gold, but don't wait till you're old. If you want it, I get you some.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Stand-up comedian and Big Brother superfan Joleen Lunzer here for the BB Breakdown with Joleen. Let's start the show the only way we know how. Welcome to the Big Brother Breakdown with Joleen. Welcome to the BB Breakdown with Joleen. That's me. Hello, friends. Happy Saturday night. We are here for another Big Brother Breakdown where we break down the latest going on in the BB27 house and the live feeds and spoilers. So this is your warning. Spoiler alert. If you don't like spoilers, catch me tomorrow after tomorrow night's episode. But if you don't like spoilers, you are in the right place.
What's POV?
What is POV, Candy? If you guys want to support the channel further than liking or subscribing, you can always join my YouTube membership where you get bonus content, emojis, and other things, or my Patreon. Links for that are in the description. You can send a super chat while we're live. I'll highlight your comment. And shout out to those of you who support me on the Venmo, PayPal, Cash App. I got some very generous Venmos and PayPals and Cash App. So thank you. Links for that are in the description as well as all my social media. And I'm also posting things this year on Instagram and TikTok. I'm trying to grow my TikTok. So if you're on the TikTok, find me. I'm trying to get 10K and I'm kind of far away. I'm trying to get 10K on Instagram and on the TikTok. And then I'm trying to hit 50K on YouTube. We're trying to do a full total domination world takeover. So thank you to those of you who have subscribed and have followed me on other platforms. And make sure you share me with your friends, enemies, family members, neighbors, pets, all of the above. All right. So thank you. You guys are so sweet. It's so good to see you guys. I want you to sound off in the live chat. Let me know all your thoughts, hopes, dreams, and opinions when it comes to this Big Brother season and everything going on. And remember, I'm very opinionated, but that doesn't mean you have to have the same opinion. You are welcome to sound off in the live chat. We can just respectfully agree to disagree as producer Prince shows up to work.
You better not!
Producer Prince showed up to work. He's late, but he's like, so are you. And I said, I am neurodivergent and have time blindness. And he said, so am I. So here we are, you guys. Okay, we have a lot to talk about, so I want to get right into it. Okay, all right. If Prince is gonna let me here, he's like, "What is going on? Do you have treats for me?"
You better not.
Prince just hit a sound effect as well. Oh my God! All right, but I am a full-time working fur mom, so thus is life. I must mother. I have to mother when I want to mother. Or even not even when I want to. No, I always want to. Okay. Jolene, get with it, you guys. All right. I did finally make my own. Quickly, I made my own little chart here. So hopefully you guys like it. And we'll pull it up here. And then we'll start because we have a lot to talk about. Okay. Thank you, Producer Prince. You just calm down there, buddy. You're so cute. He's like, I have to move my thing here because otherwise he will keep hitting sound effects. And I'm already getting complaints on my sound effects. You guys, I have my little video sound effects, but I also have my soundboard. Realification, the wonderful Realification got me this soundboard years ago. I couldn't sync it up with StreamYard for the longest time because StreamYard wouldn't let me. So I used it when I did like filters and we did characters for BB Can. And I did bald Marty from BB Can before BB Can was canceled. And now I finally, like recently within the last couple of weeks, figured out how to hook it up with StreamYard because StreamYard now allows me to do that. So I'm really excited.
Oh my God!
So you'll have to bear with me because I'm having a lot of fun with it. And I have a ton of sound effects. So I know not everyone likes them. But if you like me, you'll like me. If you can't, appreciate me and my sound effects, then you don't deserve me at my no sound effects. I don't know. Okay. If you can't handle me at my worst, which is my sound effects, you don't deserve me at my best, which one day you will see. Thank you so much for the super chat, B. Tina, for the first super chat of the live. Says, hello, Joleen. I'm here on a Saturday night. What's up with the female? Oh, don't. Tina, you can't say that. We can't talk about an all-woman alliance, okay?
You patriarchy.
Who's listening? Also, I don't think these women. I've given up. I've given up. I don't care anymore. I don't care if the women work together anymore. Okay? I'm not wasting my life. I'm already 45. If they're not going to work together, whatever at this point. Okay? I'm not wasting my time. Things are falling apart. Okay. Let's get into it. As you can see from my trusty little chart here, the OTB means on the block. And obviously we have our HOH. So HOH, if you don't know yet, is Jimmy. They played a HOH competition. The feeds were down for quite a long time into the morning of Friday. We came back with a Jimmy HOH, which we talked about on our episode recap and roast. And we named Jimmy because there's only a certain amount of people that actually wanted to win the HOH. Jimmy was one of them. So Jimmy won. Jimmy nominated Serial Killer Kelly. Okay. Karate Keanu, I don't know, a dungeon master, and then Adrian, who we thought would be far more vocal in his preseason interview. So those are the three people that he nominated, all right? Obviously, Zay went back to Phoenix or Utah, wherever he went, because he was evicted Thursday. So we have Jimmy HOH. We have three people on the block. It wasn't looking good for Keanu. However, during the HOH competition, there were powers that were won, okay? It was like the dark crawl around, I think, HOH competition. It's something in the dark. And there were powers. Now, basically everybody knows who has what power except for one of the powers that hasn't gotten out yet. Because Kelly, I guess some people saw her win the power and then she ended up telling everyone because that's Kelly. And you don't know what you're going to get with Kelly. You never know what you're going to get. And then Keanu had a power. So Kelly's power is that it's like a Leah type veto. So she can take herself off the block, I believe, but it's a Survivor style, they keep saying, where she has to win another competition. Remember when wasn't it Leah last season who had this? And then they were out in Janky Fest and she failed. She didn't do it. We were like, oh no, Leah. Wasn't it Leah? I could be misremembering. Feel free to correct me in the chat. So she has to, if she decides to use it to save herself, she would have to say she wants to use it, maybe during the POV ceremony, I'm assuming, and then play another competition right away. And if she wins that competition, she has a veto and can take herself out. Okay, thank you, Ronald. Yeah. I could have sworn it was Leah. You have a few times where people had the chance to really save themselves on what appeared to be a very easy comp. I'm talking to you, Caitlin Herman, BB20, in the three-piece puzzle. Not that I'm going to remember the rest of my life, but I'm probably going to remember it the rest of my life. And wasn't able to do so. So that's Kelly's power. And Kelly's telling everybody. Kelly's like, I got to tell everybody. Keanu's power was something I liked this power. Okay. Normally it's hit or miss with this stuff. It can really mess up the game. It can it can go one of two ways. You can think it's cool and it can help, or it can just be like, ugh, this is horrible. Keanu's power is kind of cool. And I'm surprised they haven't done something like this before. And if they have done something like this before, I don't remember. So Keanu has the ability to win the veto. He has two kind of chances to win the veto because he has an extra player in the veto. And that extra player, you guys, they said was going to be a Big Brother like legend, all-star. And I'm thinking it's Jag. It's going to be Jag because, no offense, all offense to Jag, but it's going to be boring. It's going to be so recent. Even my friend Powell, shout out to Powell, he was texting me. He's like, who do you think it is? I was like, you know what? I really wish it was like Janelle back in, remember Janelle being the veto queen back in the day, or something interesting. But I'm like, it's probably Jag. It's probably Jag, or they're gonna bring Tucker, which actually I wouldn't have minded Tucker because they're all geeking out to see Tucker anyways, and I would have loved maybe. Well, I don't know if Tucker would have really told them how he feels, and I don't really know how Tucker feels about this cast. But it'd be interesting if he had like a very blunt opinion of like to Kelly maybe, who thinks she's playing a Tucker game. Because both Kelly and Zach are like, we're playing Tucker games. And I'm like, let's not try to, recreate that because I don't think you can. But okay, cool. Thank you, Carol Ann. Welcome to the membership. Thank you so much. And so I thought for sure it was Jag. But you guys, it was none other than freaking Casey, winner of BB20. All right, beater of Tyler. Challenge person. And Casey's a beast. Casey in the era of Big Brother that started the let's go. Like that's all we hear now. Let's go. I thought this thing, Michael would have been fun too. Yes. Cryosa. Yes. Michael would have been fun because he's from Minnesota and, I'm biased when it comes to my Minnesotans. But that would have been cool. But I wasn't pissed about this Casey thing. Okay. I didn't like that they transferred all the Big Brother people over to the challenge. And then I soon stopped watching the challenge because it was like Josh and Casey and Fessy. Ew, And then Josh kind of won me over kind of during reindeer games. And Casey, I don't even think I had anything against Casey. I don't even remember. Other than we used to call her furniture, but then she won the game. But she's played the challenge so much. Some people, I don't watch the challenge anymore, so I don't know if she's still doing challenges, but pretty cool. So Casey shows up, and so she was another player for Keanu. So Keanu used his power and was like, yeah, bring in a BB legend. Casey shows up, bosses the competition, wins the power of veto. So that means that Keanu won the power of veto, which is not good for Jimmy's HOH because Jimmy wanted Keanu gone. And that's not going to happen. So he did flush out a power, which is great. If you have an HOH where you're flushing out and getting rid of powers this early, that's awesome. However, if you're flushing out all the powers where your targets are still safe, that's not the greatest. Carol Ann, thank you for the super chat. Carol Ann says, I kind of thought it would be Evil Dick. This is just my speculation. I don't know Evil Dick's relationship with CBS anymore or Big Brother. And I don't know if they still have a working relationship. Because I feel like if they did, they would have utilized Evil Dick since his kind of return where he ultimately had to leave in BB13. So I don't know if they have a working relationship. I could be wrong. And Evil Dick, if he still does, Big Brother stuff, he could probably obviously answer that for you. But we haven't seen him anywhere near the show or CBS in so many years. It makes me think they don't have a relationship. And he's also, like Robert says, 1,000 years old. He's 1,000 years old. He's older than me. Oh my gosh. So Casey comes in, beasts the competition, gives a power veto to Keanu. Now, most likely, Kelly will use her power and probably will win. I'm just assuming. Kelly's is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, as we're like, what's Kelly doing? She got herself off the block in the BB Butt Blaster. She found herself a power in the HOH competition. So there's a good chance Kelly could win. And be able to take herself off the block. That's the case. Jimmy has to nominate not one, but 2 more house guests. So that means Jimmy in his HOH would have to nominate 5 people. That is freaking horrible.
It's inappropriate
for an HOH. That is all the blood on your hands. That is crazy. And Jimmy is thinking about this on the feeds going, oh my God, it's a nightmare. So you might be wondering, well, who is Jimmy going to put up as a renom? All right. And Jimmy has now since had a conversation with Keanu. Now, you guys, the house is not feeling the dungeon master. They're not feeling Keanu. They're so done with this man because Keanu has been lying about his vote from Thursday. He's saying he voted to evict Zay. Well, we know he voted to evict Amy. Meanwhile, Will is like, yeah, I voted to evict Amy. Oops. Because Will was voting with the Burger Boy Alliance, the bros. And people are catching Keanu in his lies because apparently he's telling people different things. But he's sticking with this lie. And they're like, but Keanu, like, we're pretty sure you're lying. Like, people have caught you. And he's like, no, it's Will. So Keanu's trying to pin the vote on Will. Will's like, why would I lie? I'm literally sitting here with Amy. She's still in the house. Why the frick would I lie about this? And so no one's dumb enough to believe Keanu voted Zay out and to keep Amy. So, but Keanu, since he had this power and now has the POV, is able to start, kind of rebuilding for now with Jimmy. And Keanu wants Will on the block. And I'm like, not Will. Leave Will alone, okay? But Will made the mistake that we called early this season, actually preseason, when we saw his interviews and we heard a little bit about his plans going into the house. Will's like, I'm 50, but I'm not 50. I'm like a cool 50. And I'm like, but you're 50. He's like, yeah, but the kids are not even going to know that I'm 50. I'm like, they're going to know you're 50. They're going to know, okay? Because remember back, if you're not in your 20s, remember back to your 20s and how you looked at people who were even 30. I was like, damn, like I thought that was damn near dead. 40? Oh my God. That seemed like a millennium from where I was. And so 50? That's like my parents' age. So no, we're not going to bond on that level. And Will is finally starting on the feeds. He was talking to Amy about this. They're starting to realize like, oh, we are, because Amy's 43 and Will is 50. And that is a big difference in this game socially from the 23-year-olds, the 25-year-olds, even the 27-year-olds. So I think that way too. I'm 45 and I'm like, I'm still cool. It's like, yeah, bitch, but you're 45. And to 25-year-olds, you're a zombie. Like you're damn near dead. Okay. I was going, oh, that slaps. And my husband goes, no one says slaps. I'm like, I'm pretty sure they say slaps. He's like, yeah, in like 2018, 2016, Joleen. And I asked my little niece who's staying with us, who's 11. She's like, I don't even know what that means. So you think you're there and you think you're still cool, but you're not. And this is where Will went wrong, is he was like, I'm going to align myself with like the younger people, like the bro guys. And really all along, he should have aligned himself with like the other parents, the Amy's, the Rachel's, really pulled them in. So for him to vote Amy out instead of voting Zay out because he believed in this Burger Bro alliance was just naive on his part, but he's not the first older house guest to do this. We see this happen season after season where the older people are like, but I'm not like a regular old person. I'm like a cool old person. I'm like, no matter what, you're old. To them, you're old. To me, you're not old because you're only 50. And that's 5 years from me. So I'm like, what up? You're so cool. But they don't even know what you're talking about. They have never dialed a rotary phone. Like they have no idea the struggle, my friend, that we know. They live totally different lives, and that's okay. But so Will finds himself in a hard place right now because Jimmy and Keanu are like, Jimmy's trying to like, okay, Keanu's staying. He could win HOH next week. I was really going after him hard. Jimmy's trying to salvage a relationship with Keanu, and Keanu's like, yeah, we totally work together. I think Rachel is the reason that we weren't able to get along. And I'm like, oh my God, Keanu. Keanu wants to blame Rachel Riley for everything. Like every mistake, everything he's done, it's Rachel Riley's fault. And Keanu is just like, Rachel has told him time and time again, she was working with him. And he still refuses to believe her. He is so afraid that she could best him as a returning player and as a woman returning player and as a 40-year-old woman returning player. Oh my God. Oh my God. He's terrified. So he wouldn't let himself work with Rachel long enough to, move forward in the game and kind of benefit each other as long as they could benefit each other. So now he's trying to convince Jimmy, and Jimmy's like, yeah, maybe that's it. That it was Rachel that created all of this drama between them. And it's like, no, I'm pretty sure it's because you called him a snake and he called you a snake. And then there's a reason he threw his sunglasses off and Jimmy wanted you to go up. And I don't think Rachel had anything to do with that. She just warned you, bro. But here we are. All right. David, thank you so much for the super chat. David says, your channel is my Saturday night date. I thank you for the laughs and wisdom. David, thank you so much. You're such a sweetie. Wipe the CD. Yes. Smash that like button if you haven't already. All right. And so unfortunately, we called this with Will. I was hoping, because I really do enjoy him. I think he's funny. I think him with Ava is funny. I just wish he wouldn't have went into the game with such a cliched old dude mentality of the game. I'm going to, he said he's going to team up with people that were kind of different than him, but that always ends up being the young bros. And so he teamed up with a group of young bros, being, the Butt Burger Boys, and one of them's already gone, the one you tried to save. And now you're back in the house, with the lady that you voted out being Amy. And so Will had a conversation with Amy, and they were both talking wow, we really don't have a lot in common with these 23-year-olds. No, and you're not supposed to. That's how life works. You progress as a person, you learn, you grow, and priorities are different. I mean, your brain isn't even fully developed until you're 25. So, you have so much more experience in certain things, and they're younger, and it's different. It doesn't mean you can't work together, but you shouldn't put all your eggs in the fetus basket. That's what I'm saying. And I feel like that's what Will did. So Will's talking to Amy, and he's like, well, I got your back. I got you. And Amy goes, yeah, but I mean, I don't know, because you kind of voted me out. And she's right. She goes, I'm having trust issues. And yes, of course she's going to have trust issues, because you legit voted for her to leave. So how is she going to trust now that you have her back? What? And Amy and Will are both in trouble, because like I said, Keanu wants to pin the vote on Will. He wants to be like, oh, no. Will voted Zay out. Will voted Amy. No, what is he saying? I'm confused at Keanu. Keanu's confusing the show. Keanu wants people to believe he voted Zay out when really he voted Amy out. And so he's like, it's Will and Riley. I'm confusing my damn self. Either way, he's trying to pin this on Will. And Will is like, no, I'm being honest about my vote. And so I feel like Keanu at this point's like, I need to get Will up as a replacement nom, because he is the only one between me and my secret about how I voted, because I'm trying to claim his vote and he's trying to claim mine, even though he's trying to claim his and I'm trying to claim his. That's how it's going. And in that process, Will, unfortunately, is probably going to be the renom, the first renom. And the second renom, once Kelly takes herself off the block, is probably going to be Amy. So unfortunately for the elderly people in the house, and I say that with a wink and a smile, because they're not old at all, but compared to the other house guests, they are big brother dead. Okay. They're going to be up on the block. And if they just would have if the Gen Xers just would have stuck together, or technically Amy is like a Zennial and then Will's a Gen Xer, but you know what I mean? If they would have stuck together early on, but no, Will got in the Butt Burger Boys, and none of these bros are going to have your back. Will, they're not. Barbara, thank you so much for the super chat. Barbara says, so happy you're covering BB again. Thank you. You're so welcome. And thank you for being here. I appreciate that very much. I appreciate all of you. You're all sweeties, and you're killing it with the super chat. So thank you. Goldie says, Riley is a cowboy or a rapper. Riley needs to go home. At this point, Riley is boring the shit out of me. He doesn't want to play in the competitions. He was having a whole struggle bus last night. I was trying to go to sleep. And he's like, I don't really want to play in the veto competition. Okay, well then throw it. But I also don't want to throw it, but I don't want someone to pick me. It's like, it seems like Riley's just there to find love with Catherine, okay? He's on damn Love Island, and I'm bored of it. He's really playing a floater game. He might be damn near playing a coaster game. So he is in some alliances, but even his own alliance members are not liking the way he's moving, especially Morgan. Morgan, I mentioned this before in my last update, but Morgan has had it. She's like, screw this dude. So we got to win competitions. We got to get blood on our hands. And then he just comes along with us and gets to play Love Island with Catherine. And I don't want this to be a showman's. Okay? I don't want him to it seems like that's what he does, Arno. He does say his prayers, which is very nice. But other than that, he's not doing anything but trying to play Love Island. And I don't want the Catherine Riley showmance. I'm not ready for it. I don't want it, okay? This is bullshit. It's too much. All right? And he's boring. And he's just and he's just like, and no, it's not funny anymore. It was funny for a minute when he was talking about drinking the Vienna sausage water, and when he was talking about starting chewing tobacco at 9 years old, or how he didn't understand how sunscreen worked. Okay. But now I'm bored. Brenda says, Riley reminds me of a 1970s porn actor. How much PR were you watching there, Brenda? Well, I don't think Catherine wants it either, right, Robbie? But he did say that he doesn't want to push it on her. Oh, okay, thank you. And that he doesn't want to make her uncomfortable. So hopefully he's not making her uncomfortable. I just really do not pay attention to the two of them when they're on the feeds together because I'm uncomfortable. So there's really no one, honestly, Robert, I'm kind of with you. There's no one in this cast I want to see in a showmance. The only two people I wanted to see in a showmance, and CBS ruined it because they're homophobes.
You're freaking massive, bro. Keanu is obviously big as hell. He's just a really strong, fit guy, and I like that. Yeah, I know.
And I like that.
That's all I wanted to see in a showmance. And it's not going to happen now. So I'm bored. Heather, thank you for the super chat. Heather says, random, but my fave sound effect of yours is boo, especially when used on Jax. Thank you. Thank you for having a favorite. Because people are not enjoying my soundboard. But I'm enjoying it. And I feel like I need to enjoy it. I might be overdoing it. I'll give you that. You guys. But it's just so fun. It's just so fun. Having worked in radio in my early 20s, it brings back lovely memories. Okay? Right, Boston Girl says they have a whole year to find people. How is this the best they could do? Thank you. Some of these people, yes. Amelia's back. Amelia Bedelia kills me with her comments. She says, I need more feet shots. I'm sure you do. You can go over to Foot Finder and check me out. Someone put me there once upon a time. That's my favorite one too, Jim.
Your patriarchy.
That is my favorite. Thank you guys. You guys don't have to say that, but I appreciate you saying it. And I also understand the criticism because I'm sure I am overdoing it, but I can't help it. All right. Oh, gosh. Oh my God. Thank you guys. You guys are so sweet. That's the word on the curb. WB888 says Riley will be a dad. Is this for that word on the curb? There is some. We did a little update about it in one of my live feed updates. There's a lady out there who says she's the baby mama. She's going to give birth while he's in the house. There's some drama. So yeah, hit that like, you guys. 490 watching. Can we get 490 likes? That'd be amazing. All right. So back to this. So Jimmy seems pretty on board with like, okay, I am going to be putting up Will and Amy, unfortunately, with the target being Will. Now, depending on, because Kelly's going to remove herself, obviously, Keanu's going to remove himself, which would leave on the block Will, Adrian, and Amy. Then they have to do the BB Butt Blaster. Now, there's a good chance Adrian could win the BB Butt Blaster because people were saying that Ava, especially, I'm loving Ava. She's so sassy. She has pretty good reads. I don't love everyone she's working with in the house, but I'm just enjoying her for entertainment value. Chef's kiss so far, but we're in, week 2. So my attitude could change. However, Ava she's she's pretty choice. Okay. Now, with these three on the block, and with the target being Will, and with Adrian, like I said, playing in the BB Butt Blaster and him winning, it could be because I feel like I have more hope in Adrian winning, because with this POV competition, Ava's like, oh my God, they bring in Casey and she's so good, because Casey is like a beast. She's like a monster. She's just like, she's so buff. She's good at shit. Like, that's Casey, and she's done the challenge so many times. Like, she ain't scared. All right. And she blew these house guests away. But apparently Adrian wasn't that far behind. So if Adrian could keep up with a comp beast like Casey from BB20 and the challenge, I would be looking at him like, and he's young and he's not annoying like we thought he was going to be going into the season. Remember when we listened to his preseason, we were all like, oh my God, this guy is going to annoy the shit out of us. And he's very quiet so far. And if anything, I feel bad for Adrian, because he is constantly being assaulted by Kelly. And I say assaulted, but like literally, she's just, Adrian and Vince and all the guys are her best friend, but she just like grabs people and tickles people. Kelly has boundary issues. If this was a guy on Big Brother, we would be like, get him out. Kelly, I'm going to need to create what I did for Cameron from BB25. I think it was BB25. Or for Kayla from BB16, like kind of with like the Halloween music in the back or something, because she's just like grabbing people and she's like, and she'll like run up and tickle people, and they're just like, and you can tell they're uncomfortable. And Adrian does seem, for as much as he had all this like bravado and I'm the best and whatever, he seems like a sweet person. He's like a vegan, I mean, he seems pretty chill overall. Now that could change but from what I've seen. And Kelly's just like, and then she'll like come up to him and like smell him and like bite his head or something. It's so creepy. And she does this with Vince too. Vince is like her bestie, even though Vince plays along, but you can tell he's scared. Like, they're scared. So hashtag protect these men. Hashtag protect these men. Because it's like, I'm worried about them. Kelly she'll just go up and be like, those people, everyone had like a aunt or a creepy uncle who would just like kind of goose you and just be like, and the tickling where it hurts, where you're like, nobody likes that. Who loves when someone comes up behind them or just like pokes at them and is like, and you're like, what the fuck are you doing? And that's Kelly. That's South Dakota serial killer Kelly. All right. She's in everyone's space. This is literally Adrian trying to run away. The poor guy. He just wants to stay away from dairy, animal products, and Kelly's tickle monster self. Okay. Now he is loyal to her to a point, and so far, but it's getting right. And she gets close to people when she talks, and she's admitted that she has to be reminded to brush her teeth. Okay. Like, what? That's disgusting. That's disgusting. So she's like, hi, I'm Kelly. And she like pokes at these guys, and I'm like, oh my God. Ronald, that's another great point. Ronald says, why did everyone always want to put Amy up? I feel like this is most likely a mistake. All right. Where Amy is someone who, unfortunately for Amy is starting to believe that she is trash at this game. And we don't know if you're trash. It's week 2, but she's starting to believe it. And here's what I will tell you. There was the Amy, Rachel, kind of Ashley threesome going on. This is horrible. All right. And Ashley is trying to give Amy pointers. Ashley's constantly pointing out how Amy said something or did something that was awkward. And she's like, I love you, girl, but I wanted to run away and start myself on fire. Like, why'd you say that? And Amy's like, why did I say that? I do say that. Because remember, Amy told us in her, pre-show package that, oh, I tell people things I'm not supposed to say. I trust the wrong people. And we're like, that's like the worst traits in Big Brother. You are, oh my God. So then she has Ashley, who's like trying to tell her how to navigate socially in the game. Meanwhile, Ashley is navigating horribly socially in the game to where the other house guests are not enjoying her at all. And at first I thought, well, Ashley's, it's a little unfair. But the more I see Ashley move, it's not like a Kelly level yet. I don't even want to put her close to Kelly yet. But she will just say things and I'm like, oh, Ashley, that can't be good. Like even straight up to Kelly after the comp, she was like, you threw it. She just won't stop bringing up that she thinks Kelly threw the comp. And Kelly's like, I didn't throw the comp. And even Ava, I don't know if she was lying, but because Ava does not love Kelly. But when Kelly asked Ava, did I throw the comp? And Ava's like, no, it was really hard. Because Ava's like, this comp was bullshit. They clearly geared it toward Casey and her strengths. And now we had to, what was the point of us even being there? So Ava's just going to tell you how she thinks it is. But Ashley's going to say things to people. So she's starting to rub people the wrong way. She's doing that thing that people hate, calling out their, possible showmances. She walked in the bathroom where Lauren and Zach were. And it's like, Zach, it's no secret that you keep telling everyone, I think they cast Lauren for me. She's my type. It was kind of like with Crazy Eyes last season with Angela, where he was like, you put a target on us. No, bro, you put a target on you by staying up until all hours of the night talking to Mackenzie and being in love with her from day one. You have two young, attractive people hanging out nonstop. It doesn't take a genius to figure out you want to hump. That's still a banger, okay? And I know probably no one's saying banger anymore, but I am. Me in 2016 are saying banger, all right? So, and then what happens? Immediately, Mackenzie and Matt, a couple, and they're still a couple, and he's still crying about freaking Angela from last season. And I'm like, get over it.
Chuck, I miss you so bad. Thank you. Chuck, I miss you so bad.
If you buy her one margarita, she will spread her legs. Give me one margarita, I'ma open my legs. Give me two margaritas, I'ma give you some head. Give me three margaritas, I'ma put it in my pussy. Give me four margaritas, I'ma put it in my tush. Give me five margaritas, I'ma give it.
Right, Pomegranate, that song. The sun on your skin, it's 6 a.m. and I've been watching you sleep. This is only redeeming quality. Shout out to Nana's in the chat. My mom's in the chat. We love you, Nana. Nana went back home to Minnesota, but she was with us in Cali, and we had so much fun. So in the last 24 hours, the wonderful Twitter account summarized this. At self-evicted_BB said, Ashley the past 24 hours, wanting to split Mickey and Morgan. So wanting to get between Mickey and Morgan's alliance, which is pretty strong, those two together, the two, 30-something ladies, clocking that Mickey has the power, because that's the third power. Mickey has it, and we'll talk about that. Called out Morgan's gray hair in front of Zach. Oh my God, it's getting messy. It's getting messy. Okay. Dared Zach and Lauren to kiss. Knows how well connected Zach is with everyone. Annoyed the whole house. She's also went up to Zach and was like, so I know Morgan's like your number one, but I'm like your third, right? And she is not. Zach, aka Crazy Eyes 2.0, he does not like Ashley at all. And some people are picking up that there might be a little jealousy, maybe, with Ashley and Morgan, because I don't even know if it's jealousy or it's just she just isn't picking up on not to maybe point out to the woman who's older than you, who's kind of interested in Zach, because we know Morgan is kind of, wouldn't turn down a showmance with Zach, which I hate, but that's how it is. Pointing out Morgan's gray hair in front of Zach. I'm surprised that Ashley, I mean, obviously she's a super smart person. She went to Georgetown. She's an attorney, whatever. But socially, I don't know what she's doing. Okay? I don't know what she's doing. It's funny at times, but I don't know. Thank you, Drago. I don't know what she's doing. So it's interesting that she is trying to coach Amy on how to be better socially in the house. And then Amy's trying to help Ashley, and they're both awful at it. But I feel like Amy doesn't have to be this bad. But she has just now convinced herself, because she will say, like, oh, I'm horrible at this. Like, she was having a conversation with Rachel yesterday on the feeds. Like, oh God, I'm just like, I'm never going to win. I'm never going to do this. And Rachel's like, what are you talking about? I have a better chance of being targeted. And, once I'm out of this game, here's what you need to do. And Amy's like, don't talk like that. But then today, I think it was today or late yesterday, then we see Amy kind of talking to Ashley and complaining about Rachel. And I'm like, Amy. You're lucky right now you have Rachel is not the reason you're in the position you're in. It could be because you went up in the HOH room, 4 hours after knowing everybody. I know it was probably 5 days or whatever. And we're like, you can't put my best friend, what's her name? Ashley on the block. Like, what? Why are you crying? You and Zach crying over these people already. It's crazy. And I don't even think Ashley knew that Amy thought that she was her best friend, which then put a target on her back to Vince. And Vince is like, well, I guess you're going to be mad anyways. I might as well put you up with her. So Amy's doing herself no favors. And Rachel didn't tell her to do that. Rachel didn't tell her to go cry in the HOH room and try to save a girl you knew for 4 days. Okay. But here we are with Amy. So right now, Amy and Ashley, as much as I wanted to believe that, like, oh, they could do it, they're not doing it right now. They're in trouble and they're in danger. And we'll see how it all goes down, because it's not looking good. But them giving each other advice and calling each other out in front of other people, they just don't seem as aligned as they should be. It seems like Ashley would rather work with anyone else, but here we are. And then they want to kind of blame Rachel for the targets they have. No, believe me, you would have a target without Rachel Riley in this house. Okay. I'm not saying Rachel is like the best social game. Like, she's working. We're seeing a different side of Rachel. We see some of the same, but we're seeing even a different side of Rachel where she's trying to have like a different social game than she's had previously and evolving in her social game. She still struggles because sometimes it just seems like a really bad job interview. Tell me about a time that things were very hard for you, and how does that work for you in this game? And I'm like, did Rachel turn AI job questions? Like, why are we talking to people like this? But Rachel thinks like that is, I am acting like I care. Tell me about something very painful in your past. That must have made you, I don't know if she's like studying to be a therapist now in Alabama. I'm not sure what's going on, but it's a mess. Okay. But again, yeah, Ashley said to Zach, I know Morgan is your number one, and I think I'm your number third. What? No. You're his number last. And the fact that, so we have Jimmy up and he's, looking again at the replacement noms, most likely won't know officially till Monday, being Amy and Will, which I think are, okay. I mean, I wouldn't put either of them up if I was Jimmy. You're not even looking at Zach. You're not even maybe thinking, maybe we could switch the target over to Adrian, who literally almost beat Casey in the POV comp allegedly. But I think Jimmy is so aligned with Vince that Vince is, I want to say Vince might be a little in his head about this. Rachel, it looked like today on the feeds when they came back from the veto competition that Rachel was trying to suggest maybe you should go after Vince. He's talking to a lot of people. I saw him talking to Keanu. I saw him talking to this friend. But I think she soon realized that wasn't going to go anywhere because Vince and Jimmy are very close. I mean, they're up there. They offered to sleep in the same bed together. I don't think they have yet. Vince has got his flat iron up there talking to Jimmy. You guys, it was hilarious. So Vince flat irons his hair because he's 34. And when he was coming up in high school, listen to, one of you makes you right, but I got it where I want it now. When he was listening to his music, he was flat ironing his hair. So he flat irons his hair, which shout out to the flat iron the men flat iron. Yeah, Zach's too protected. He's too big. You got to get the muscle guys out first. That is always the Joleen Big Brother 101. If you've been following me for any amount of time, you go after the muscles, whether it is women or men. Okay? If they have a 6-pack, you got to go. That's too many packs. You better not even have more than a 3-pack. That's too much. I prefer a 2-pack. But you know what? If it's 6 or more, you gotta go. We gotta target you because those comp beast body bro guys win these games and win the game overall. Okay. But Vince is up there flat ironing his hair with Evanescence playing in his head or something. I don't know. And what if Vince was 34? What year was he born? You guys put it in the chat. I'm not going to do math because I don't have to. And I don't want to break my brain. Okay. And then he put on his beanie and did the flat iron on his hair with his beanie on. And I was like, this is too freaking funny that this guy is still flat ironing his hair. Okay, I can definitely say slaps, banger. If Vince in the year of 2025 can flat iron his hair and flat iron his hair with a beanie on. Okay. Oh, he was born in 91. With a beanie, that seems like a fire hazard. You gotta take the beanie off. Maybe it was unplugged at the time and still just a little heat, and he just wanted to get his tips just popping out of the beanie, out of the toque. What do you guys call it? A toque? A toquer? A 2-for-1? What do the Canadians call it? And some East Coasters? Because in Minnesota, we just call it a toboggan. Is that what you call it? A toque? Toboggan? We just call it a beanie. I mean, seriously. It was F Cancer 12. It was hilarious. It might have been unplugged, but he was definitely getting his ends. And I was like, is this dude flat ironing his hair in a beanie? Oh boy. Oh boy. Vince, stick to the hair gel. Do something. Cut it out. A toque. Is that what it's called, Marie? Every season I ask this because I forget. I know it's a cool name you guys have for a toboggan. Okay, in the South you called it toboggan. I just call it a beanie. Do they call it anything else? I don't know. A tookie. Every year I get it wrong. Every single year. And I come from a place so close to Canada, you'd think I'd get this shit right, but I don't. Every year it's harder for me. Right? And that makes sense, Ryan. In 2004, if you're a dude and you're flat, like, that was some cool shit. With your little, was like skinny jeans hitting it then? Or was that later down the road? Maybe putting on a little eyeliner, a little guy liner. Okay? Or gal liner, whatever. But yeah. Did he use a heat? I don't think he's putting in a heat protector. I have not seen Vince use a heat protector. We need to recommend some Kerastase. How do you say that? Kerastase something. That's what I use. But they used it on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And that became a thing. So, yes. Crazy. Kelly wanted to. So that was the plan, Jess. Kelly wanted to put condoms on people's beds. Let's read a little bit about some of the notes I have from the live feeds, even yesterday. All right? About some of the cuckoo craziness. Apparently, Casey also told the house guests, Casey from BB20, told them that they're very messy. Because if you see the bunk bed room, it's such a great room with the bunk beds, but there's shit everywhere. And I just don't understand why Big Brother, even appealing wise, after 27 frickin' seasons, can you give them just a little more closet space? Maybe a little more drawer space so we don't have to see their shit everywhere. It's such a cool room because you not only have the bunk beds, but you also have these little tables which you can congregate and sit, like a little tea tables with the chairs and have game talk. But there's stuff's everywhere. And I guess the messiest ones are Ashley and I forget which other of the girls in the room. Or maybe it's even Jimmy. I forget. But Casey was saying that they're messy. I think Jimmy said he's not messy. but their stuff is just everywhere. And I think it really is on Big Brother at this point. Give him a little closet space. What's the worst it can do? If you can put cameras in those little bunk beds, you can surely put cameras in a little closet. Or get, even how they have in the hallway room, how they have those, just not even built in closets. Just put a couple more. It's not as bad as BB Can. If you ever watch BB Can, some seasons were, oh my God. And they were actually sponsored by like Rick's Furniture or like Jimbo's Jumbo Furniture Farm or whatever they were sponsored by. And they still would have their stuff in their bags, just on the ground, just opened up, just like crap everywhere, clean clothes on the ground. And it's so distracting watching the show. Like, I'm not watching Hoarders, I'm watching Big Brother. Give them some hangers and a little bit of closet space and somewhere to put their shoes, and let's call it a day. All right, I know I'm complaining about. Thank you, Michelle. We're on our way to 50K. We're excited. Yeah, brought to you by Takis, IKEA. Do something. Give him a little closet space. Thank you, Sue. Sue's back. I love Sue because she grabs all the quotes. Thank you, Sue H. Thank you, DM Rocks. Good to see you. Hey, you hear about how Morgan has a crush? Yes. Ugh. And I saw this. Like, I wasn't going to admit it, but we've talked about it. I think we talked about it in the last update. I'm just like, Morgan, you can do so much better. No offense, all offense to Zach, but how about all offense to Zach? You can do so much better. And she's like, well, I don't know if I want to like make a move or, because then it looks like I'm like competing with Lauren. And now Ashley is kind of jealous of why? Why, Morgan? Hashtag gamer girl, not hashtag get the dick girl. It's gamer girl. Okay? We gotta get that money, honey. Don't waste our time with Zachy Poo. Please stop. Please stop. Yes, James, exactly. And it's not even hide the POV. Yeah, hide and go POV, or what's that called? Hide and go veto. It's not even that competition. Yes, I'm not watching Big Brother, or I'm not watching Hoarders. I'm watching Big Brother. Just, yeah, I don't know. Morgan, Ryan says Morgan's too old to be acting like this, but I do feel for Morgan because she lives in LA, and I think it's hard out there. Okay, I was lucky that I had already met my husband in Arizona, and we moved to LA together. But all my friends, we lived in Hollywood for 6 years, and all my friends who were dating were like, this is a nightmare because it's literally like child men who are like, I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. There's a million toys at Toys R Us that I can play with, So the dating pool, not the greatest in the LA. So maybe she's desperado. And I don't even know where Zach lives. Does he live in the country or something? Yeah, they just need to have like a stack of vibrators in a separate room and let the girls be a couple times a week, and we'll get over this, okay? It is always the best chat on YouTube. I agree, Sue. Our live chat, best. Best. Okay? You're welcome, Drago says. It's tough for us delusional soul killers. Not delusional. All right. So, Morgan, so I got some notes from yesterday as well. So Morgan now doesn't trust Will because of his vote. So Will's vote really put him, like we talked about earlier, at a disadvantage in the house because he went so hard in the paint for the boys and the butt boys and saving Zay when he should have just pivoted to save Amy when he saw the house going that way. But he was like, I got to align with my boys, but your boys will be the first people to throw you under the bus because you're 50 and you're not really one of them per se. You're still considered the old guy. So I just don't think this was a good play for Will, but I feel like I've exhausted that already. Jimmy agrees, but says that he couldn't target Will. So this is before Jimmy did his noms. All right. This week because he's a 50-year-old man who's injured. Apparently he got injured. Again, Will, this is how it is. Okay. They're like, oh, he's so old and he's injured. I can't target the elderly, but now he's going to target the elderly. So here we are. Jimmy thinks Will might have one of the powers. That's also another thing, people, since they don't know about who has the third power. Now, the third power is occupied now by Mickey. Mickey got a power. So she was the third person. So obviously Keanu, serial killer Kelly, and Mickey from Georgia. She got the power where she can overthrow, I believe, an HOH. And she has until jury to use it. They all have until jury to use it, but it looks like this week they're flushing out 2, Keanu and Kelly's. But Mickey, the only person I think she told so far is Morgan. And Morgan was jumping up and down. She was so happy because they are, working together. So she's like, that's awesome. And she's trying to explain it to her. The overthrowing of the HOH. I believe that's hers. But a lot of people in the house are still like, who has this power? And a lot of people were wondering if it was Will. And I think it just looked sus because of his vote. Because basically, even Mickey, like, it just doesn't make sense because Will was in with like Mickey. He was in with his little have-not alliance or his have-not group, I should say. And Mickey says at one point on the feeds yesterday, she's like, Will lied to my face for a week straight. Like, I look at Will differently now because he went and voted for Zay. And look where Zay is. Not here. He's gone. He's evicted from the house. So unfortunately, that put the sus all over Will. Paul, good to see you, Paul says, be nice to Will, aka my A. I wanted Will to go far. I was loving the Will Ava dynamic. I could have watched them on the feeds for the whole summer, but Will really put himself at a disadvantage with that vote and aligning with the Burger Bros. All right. So Jimmy thinks that Will might have the powers. Kelly tells Jimmy if she feels like last week was all about the girls' girl, and it was girls' girl, she said, until they iced out one of the girls, being her, and then no more girls. I'm like, Kelly, I am so bored with this narrative that you somehow are iced out. You've literally admitted to us, Kelly, that you're a pick-me. And she admits to more. It's in my notes, okay? Since high school. And that you wanted the other women to help you not be a pick-me and teach you how to be a girl's girl, how to be a woman supporting other women, because you didn't know how. And now all of a sudden they're mean to you. The common denominator is you, dear. And you've admitted that. I struggle with getting along with women. Well, whose problem is that? If you can't get along with your own gender, I don't know what to tell you, Kel. All right? I seriously don't know. There are so many things you can talk about. So, how are them cramps? You know what I mean? There's so many things that we share in common, even though we're different. We're not a monolith. I'm not saying that. But there's so many things you can talk about. Like the patriarchy. But somehow, Kelly is just like, yeah, so they're all about being girls, but then they're not girls, they're icing me out. Nobody iced you out. You iced yourself out to play with the boys and to go be like, put me on the block. Just kidding. I'm going to throw the BB butt blaster. Just kidding. I'm having so much fun. Just kidding. I think I fucked up. I hate Rachel. She's a stupid bitch. So I don't know what to tell you, Cal. Okay. But Kelly, Jimmy tells Kelly that his target this week is Keanu. And obviously this is before the noms and before the POV. Now knowing Keanu's going to take himself off the block because Casey won the POV for him. So he says that he needs to put people up next to Keanu that are more pawns. And she says she knows she can get herself off the block because Kelly is now she feels pretty good about herself because she solved that word scramble, BB butt blaster, in no time. I still don't know what the hell it was. She even explained it on the feeds. And she was telling Vince, she was like, it was so easy. I don't even know what the fuck was wrong with the other two. That's what she said. Kelly. But Kelly is one of those players. It's a little Franzel-esque where she thinks she's like so liked and she's America's sweetheart, this, random ass title that they've created. She's always like, I am very nice, but she doesn't say or do nice things. I feel like the people that have to say they're nice are not nice. You'll know someone's nice by the way they act.
I was going to say, like, the only person that's more likable around here than me is you.
So Kelly's like, I'm so likable. I am so nice. I just can't be mean. When other people are kind of having self-awareness and admitting, like Jimmy was like today, he said, I don't even think anyone in my family tries to be nice. Like, we're just real. We're just who we are. And Kelly's like, yeah, well, I am actually really nice. As she's going around the house being like, what the fuck's wrong with these people? It was so easy. What are they, dumb? You know, Rachel, oh my God, she's annoying. This person sucks. It's like, no, you're human. You're talking shit, and that's fine. But the thing is, people are going to like a villain. If Kelly's going to end up being a villain, which I don't think she thinks she's a villain, but she's doing villain stuff, but she wants to still be the sweetheart, people aren't going to respond to it and love that. Now, if you own that you're the villain and you do villain shit, we're like, hell yeah. If Kelly was like, I am not nice. I'm the freaking devil, and don't you forget it. If she would just make that more clear, and maybe she can in her DRs, but I kind of think she not just wants these people to believe that she's really nice and innocent. I think she thinks she is. And she's most certainly not, okay? So Kelly's like, that's fine, you can put me out. Again, Kelly's like, whatever, I can take myself off because I solved this crown puzzle in 2.2. All right. Apparently, the diary room was asking Kelly, she was telling Jimmy about her aphantasia, she called it. And that is her, I don't know, Anna was here last time and she was telling us, but I think she's unable to kind of picture in her mind, like her loved ones and things when she hasn't maybe seen them in a while or maybe at all if they're not around. So that's been hard for her. And Jimmy's like, yeah, they asked me about it too. And she's like, they did? He's like, well, yeah, you and I had the conversation. So I'm sure we're going to see an aphantasia, however it's pronounced, segment with Kelly. Now, Zach comes in to talk to Jimmy, and Jimmy said Keanu lied. He's like, Keanu lied straight to my face, okay, about his vote, and he's blaming it on Will. And so this is something, obviously, we see carry over to today, where Keanu gets POV because Casey won it for him, and he's going to take himself off the block. And so he wants to throw Will under the bus and get Will out because he's trying to claim that, it's all Will's fault. Will's lying. Will did this. Will did that. Jimmy and Vince were talking in the HOH room these are my notes about the flat iron. While Vince holds his flat iron and they talk shit on Keanu because this is before he won POV and how he is everywhere and has no boundaries. Vince brings up Keanu interrupting his talk with Catherine when Riley was there. Vince will never forget this. Vince is so mad. His mustache twirls up even higher when he talks about this. That now infamous moment where he was talking to Catherine and Riley was just sitting on the bed like ding, 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 like, whatever, counting squirrels. And Keanu was like, stop. And Riley was, Vince said, can I have a minute? Talking to Catherine. Keanu was like, talking Catherine with Riley here, but Riley can stay. And Vince is like, I feel bullied because Vince is a 34-year-old man who feels bullied.
God, what is your childhood trauma?
You're not being bullied, Vince. Okay, you should be bullied. I'll just be honest with you. But you're 34. You really can't be bullied. You've had power in the house. You haven't been an underdog at all. You might have trauma from high school, but who doesn't? But now we got to build a bridge and we got to move on. And you don't get to just throw the word bully around because the more you throw it around when you're not getting bullied because you're a 34-year-old man with a twirly mustache who lives at home and juggles and doesn't work. Like, again, you should be bullied. Satire, comedy, wink, wink, but you're not and you can't be. So stop it. And the more you say you are, the more it takes away from children and young people and vulnerable people who actually can get bullied. But you, sir, cannot. You flat iron your hair with your beanie on. I want to bully you. I want to bully you right now, okay? It's taking everything in me not to bully you, but I'm trying to be the bigger person. Maybe this is probably bullying you, criticism. Okay. So that annoys me. That kind of person annoys me. It's like, you're not going to have a Taylor journey. You're not an underdog. You're working with literally everybody. Where's the bullying? Is it in the house? Stop it. I've heard him say so many times, you do this with your mustache. You should be bullied. There are special places where people like that should go, where people can go and bully you. But but God bless and all the love. So he, was like, he interrupted me. Bullying. They wonder what Keanu's power is, and they hope it's not a resurrection power. Okay. Then Vince flat irons his hair with his beanie on. And if you want to go back to the timestamp and see him in front of the mirror, it's 2:21 Pacific. Because I even wrote the timestamp because I'm like, I'm going to go back and I'm going to get a screenshot. And I think it was unplugged by then, so it's probably cooling down, but he still was flipping his tips. All right. Jimmy picked up the barrel of Lauren's curling iron because she had one of those curling irons now. You know how they have like the Shark or the Dyson where you can kind of put your different attachments on, whether you want to have a flat iron or you want to have a curling iron. And he thought, I think, that it was a dildo. I'm pretty sure he thought it was. Because he was like, what's this? And she was like, oh. And he's like, oh my God. And she's like, it's curling iron. He's like, oh, I thought, wow, they're letting you bring anything in here. And why can't they? Okay? You can bring your dildo in there too. You know what I mean? Like, maybe she wants to. You know? Don't shame her, but it was a curling iron. The barrel of a curling iron. I was like, that is a big dildo.
What? No.
Julie, Chen, not now. Not now. Don't give me the 10 commandments now, okay? We're talking about curling iron dildos. All right. Kelly was talking to Vince on the feeds. This was an interesting conversation. And this is yesterday. And she said, she's telling him about her power. And she's like, yeah, we'll see if the jury is, she's wondering if the jury is 9 or 7. And, you know, because was it last season that we had a 7? Or do we have an, I can't even remember anymore. Because she can use her power until jury. But the power that she won, even though she's going to use it this week, she said, and that's when Vince brought up like, oh, but it depends. Like if we have a 9-person jury, 7, she's like, oh, this is why I need to tell people things. Because I had no idea. I didn't even think about that it might be a 7 or a 9-person. We don't know yet. And with all these powers, it might be, you know, a 7-person jury or something. And then she said she also thought that the Blockbuster, the BB Butt Blaster competition, she thought originally that 2 people win and 1 person loses or something. So I guess that she was confused, right? And that's why now she's saying she wants to throw it. Oh, that's why. Sure. I don't believe you. Okay. But we do know Kelly doesn't know much about this. My dogs are so excited. You guys going for a walk?
Yeah, but she wants
Dave,
to
are you going for a walk? Oh, the babies are so excited. They're going for a walk.
Oh, floating dog.
Oh,
floating dog.
Buffy's going for a walk.
Floating dog.
Oh, you're scaring producer Prince.
Sorry,
Princey.
Did you put the green screen on me?
No.
Oh, well then.
So he wasn't floating. It just looked like you, hype man, husband, show RN. Have a fun walk. We'll be here working. Okay, sorry. Dog parade. The S'more Squad is going on a walk, and they get very excited for their nighttime walk. All right, so she's like, I didn't even know how it worked. Oh my God, I didn't even know. That's why I wanted to throw it. And then Kelly goes on to say, yeah, and Zay is actually the one who told me not to throw it. And then she's like, ugh, what an idiot. Yes, Kelly, you are so freaking sweet as Zay tried to help you not make a mistake. And she was like, oh my God, what a freaking idiot. Yeah, he's the one who told me. And look at him now. He's gone. Kelly said that the Blockbuster was so easy, like I was saying. She was telling Vince how easy it was and how she doesn't know what the fudge was wrong with the other 2 because it was so easy. Like, why couldn't they do it? It was so freaking easy. She's like, oh my God, it's so easy. It's like the easiest piece of easy that ever easied. Yeah, we love our fur babies. They're just the best. And then Kelly's telling Vinny that she was thinking about it last night. Because, you know, Kelly, leave her to think. And she's going to come up with something that you're like, okay. And she's like, Vince, I was thinking about it last night, okay? Like, this is our job. Big Brother is our job. So we'll be friends in October. But right now, like when I think about everyone else, like this is a job, Vinny. And I'm thinking, I am going to I know it's early in the season, but I'm going to assume or guess or speculate that there will be quite a few house guests who don't want to be friends with Kelly at the end of the season. I could be wrong, but yeah. And if she asks you to go on a solo camping trip, don't do it.
What?
Okay? Because we might never see you again. Allegedly. For fun, for jokes, for silliness. All right? Vinny and Kelly talk about how he's never going to put her up again. Even if she begs him to, he's going to shut her down because he was having an instant buyer's remorse. And Kelly said, yeah, you didn't sell it too well at the POV ceremony. Riley noticed. So next time you have to sell it better. But Vinny says, there's not going to be a next time. And Kelly said, she's like, I'm having a blast in this game. It's so fun now. It's like the funnest piece of fun ever fun. I feel like Kelly goes from to like, oh my God, this is the most amazing thing that ever happened in my life. I love it so much. Oh, let me tickle you. Let me invade your space. And just like interesting shifts in her moods and such. So she's having so much fun and she's happy because she gets to be roomies with Vinny and Adrian, her best friends. And I need like that sound effect, like because I'm worried about Adrian. Because Adrian's gonna have to be like, these are my boundaries. Don't touch me. Leave me alone. Leave it alone, Kelly. And now she's just so happy and she has her besties in the game. Jimmy talked to Will and he let Will know that, I'm not going to put you up. And Will did confirm that he did vote Amy out. And Jimmy let him know that Keanu's throwing Will under the bus and lying, saying that Will is the one who voted Amy out, like instead of Keanu's vote. And Will's like, yeah, I did vote Amy out. But Keanu probably voted her out too. Like what? It's a mess. It's a mess what Keanu's trying to do here. And so he's letting him know that he's throwing his name under the bus and says, he's like, yeah, I know. Or that maybe he voted to save. Either way, Keanu's just making up lies about Will and the way Will voted so that Keanu can pretend that he didn't vote for Zay to stay. Jimmy lets Will know that, he wants Keanu out of this house because he's lying on everyone's name and that's not cool with him. Well, now it's not going to happen because Casey won him the POV. So sorry for him. Kelly is telling a lot of people about her power. And she said it's like Survivor style. It's like Leah's power from last season. That's where I wrote down Leah's. She has to win another competition in order to get it. Jimmy told Vince that he wants to work with Rachel, but he doesn't really want to work with Amy because she's dead weight. But she's a vote for now. So he'll work with her, but he plans to put her up on the block again. Oh my gosh. So now that Kelly has this, let me grab my thing here. Sorry guys, I dropped my keyboard. Now that Kelly has this other veto, Rachel Riley is terrified that this is the diamond power of veto. And she went up to Kelly and she's like, so the veto you got, is that like the diamond power veto that we're talking about? Which is, pretty powerful. Okay, the Diamond Power Veto was originally a special name for the final Power Veto in BB4 US, but was identical to the traditional Power Veto at that point in the season. It was reintroduced, if we remember, in BB12 as a second veto gifted from Pandora's box. Obviously, season 12 being Rachel's season, allowing for the holder to save one of the nominees on live eviction night and name the replacement nominee themselves. So she's terrified that Kelly's power is not only a veto, but she gets to name the renom, and that is not Kelly's power. And we know that house guests cannot lie about their powers. Like that is a directly a breach of the Big Brother rules. So essentially, the Diamond Power Veto is a more powerful variation of the double power of veto that would be introduced 2 seasons later in BB14 and a weaker version of the coup d'etat that we saw Jeff use in BB11. That was crazy. in BB11 when Jeff had the coup d'etat. The HOH traditional POV holder and the person saved by that POV are eligible to be nominated by the Diamond Veto. But it's not a Diamond Veto, so she doesn't have to worry. But Rachel's worried. So in this moment, Rachel is kind of pulling Kelly aside, and Rachel makes what I believe to be a huge error in her social game and read on things to think that she's going to be able to work with, we'll call her SK Kelly at this time, okay? Work with SK Kelly. And that Kelly's not going to immediately run and tell everyone about this thing. So Rachel's like, hey, maybe you and I could like work together. They're in the gym area. And she's like, we can make an agreement. Like, you don't rain on me if you do have the power of veto. Is it a diamond? Is it diamond shaped? Does it look diamond encrusted? Is there any diamond on? Okay. But if you do, let's just say you do, and you don't know, okay, that you won't rain on me. And if you don't, I won't nom you. And we can kind of work together. And like, nobody will know. Nobody would guess it. And Kelly's like, yeah, that could work. And then Rachel says, okay, I'm going to put on some workout clothes. You want to stay and do yoga with me? So Rachel's working out a lot. She says she wants to lose weight, go home to Brendan, a skinnier woman, a more fit woman, even though I think she looks great, but to each their own. And Kelly is like, not really. I'm pretty tired from the day. I think ultimately they do go in the gym and do some kind of workout. But the back and forth between Kelly and Rachel, like Kelly even says in this interaction, she mentioned something about, because like the mean girl stuff. And Rachel's like, what do you mean mean girl stuff? And Kelly goes, well, like we don't talk to each other. And Rachel's like, yeah, we're just not talking to each other. It's like we're being mean to each other. But Kelly has this narrative in her head that they're arch enemies and that they hate each other and that there's mean girl stuff and all the girls are icing her out. And it's not like that at all. It's Kelly being a pick-me. And Kelly does not, like, Kelly hates Rachel. Rachel doesn't hate Kelly. Now she doesn't trust Kelly, but Kelly has been the one, the majority of the times, being like, oh my God, Rachel sucks. She's so fake. She's this fake ass. We got to get her out. She's the worst. Amy sucks. They sucked. The suckiest piece of suck that ever sucked. But she's like, but they're so mean to me. Lady Jane, thank you for being a member for a month. Says, thank you, Joleen, for all the laughter. And BB27 fun. Has Rachel cried yet? I don't think so. Amy's cried. Sometimes though, when we get older and we get some Botox, I can't tell. Like, I can't tell. They got some good Botox. So they could be like, and I am like, are we crying? Are we not crying? I don't think Rachel's cried. She misses her Brendan. She misses her kids. She's worried. She's worried she's not going to get far in the game. She had that talk with Amy. Like, I'm worried that I'm going to go out early. So, Kelly likes to like tell people how they should be talking in conversations, like squash the beef. If she's unhappy with the way something is said, even though she just says whatever she wants. Yeah, she did kind of, you're right, at the hot tub, Angela, you're right. She did kind of cry to Amy saying, what if I am just not going to be able to win stuff like I used to? Because Rachel keeps reminding these people, and I think it's good to remind them, like, I haven't played this game in 15 years. I'm 40 years old. So whatever I did then, I don't know if I can recreate now. However, the problem is none of these people know who she is. Like, most of these house guests have watched BB26, maybe, possibly BB20. Thankfully, a lot of them didn't watch BB16 because that seemed to be the starter pack they were giving every new house guest. And some people, myself somewhat included, believe that BB16 kind of ruined modern Big Brother. Thanks, Daddy Derek. All right. So I kind of feel like nobody knows. Like, they're like, I'm so sorry. I do not know this person. I could see this person walk. They don't really know the lore of Rachel. Some of them do. But like someone like Kelly, she don't know. She just knows she won before. Kelly didn't even know Miss Felicia. I was like, what? And even Rachel Riley was like, what do you mean you don't know Felicia? Kelly's like, I only watched, she probably binged it in Sequester because she was like, I don't watch this game. Like, I don't watch this show. I don't know what's going on. But she said she watched BB26 enough so she remembers Angela and Tucker, and then BB20. So she did know who Casey was. But I'm sure there were people who didn't know who Casey was, possibly, But Kelly didn't know Felicia. And I'm like, girl, you got to know the greats, okay? Felicia is one of the greats.
Shut up. Shut up.
Felicia, I will never shut up about how fantastic you are.
Oh, half of you got to go. You got to go by noon today.
We got the dog. Oh, y'all just set it up. Y'all set it straight to the office.
Yeah, we heard the dog.
Apparently, maybe there was like a video or a mention or a picture of Felicia that was in the POV. And Kelly was like, I just don't know who that chick is. And I'm like,
Okay.
God, I love Felicia so much. She's so great. I feel like she should be sent in the house as like a twist, and she could read these house guests down. I would love to see her give us a good game read of the other house guests.
He might be fooling, take a damn Bowie Jane with him to the end.
Mm-hmm.
And all he's going to do is talk about how he had to battle his way back because everybody was against him.
Yeah.
He has no personality. He's such a follower. I just sit back and I watch him. And he wonders why he didn't naturally connect. His only connection is being HOH. Mm-hmm. That's what keeps people in the room with him. When he's not HOH, they don't stay in the room with him. And then as soon as he makes HOH, they get back in the room with him. I hope y'all is catching all of this. He ain't no damn player. He is not a master player. He has no personality. He has no nothing. He doesn't draw people to him. The only thing he has is the ability to win competitions. And half these guys aren't playing because they don't want to win, because they don't want to have to show their hand, because they don't want to piss anybody off. So
that could be Riley. She could be talking about Riley this season. You know, like she could be. Felicia, just a legend. If you don't know about Miss Felicia and you go on this show, please, if you don't know Mama Fee, you better get smart to yourself, like my grandpa used to say. You got to get smart to yourself. Oh my goodness. So she doesn't know. So I think as much as Rachel's trying to diffuse the target on her for being a returning player, I think still people are like, all we know is that you were a winner and you've done this before. And this kind of generation, this cast or generation of Big Brother players is like, it's not fair if you win twice. So no matter what, we don't want you to win twice. Now, there are players, you know, Jimmy included, who Morgan, Mickey, they do want to take or, you know, work with Rachel for as long as they can, maybe to jury, but not farther than that. But the longer you keep, you know, a returning player, someone like Rachel in the game, the better chance, obviously, she has to make it till the end. Because if the Rachel Riley comp beast is ignited and she starts actually winning things and Rachel gets a little bit of power, they might regret that. But I like it. I like it for now, you know. So we'll see what happens there. But I don't think, as much as Rachel's trying to argue, I'm not a threat, it's been like 15 years. I think that's a good point to make. But I still don't think a lot of these people know exactly what she did. Some of the people, because there was one person that was like, Rachel Riley, she could convince anyone anything. I'm like, what? That was not Rachel's game. Convince anyone? No. Rachel had to survive. She had to fight. Rachel, her first season, they didn't like her. Okay? She got sent back in as like a thing in Pandora's box and unleashed something bad in the house when Brendan was still in the game. And even the second time around, she still had PTSD from that first season because she was like, all these people are calling me sluts and skanks and putting on my hair extensions and walking around calling her waitress and being like, saying she had herpes and stuff. Like, you want to talk about bullying, Vince? Go look at the old school live feeds. Those were vicious. All right. Nowadays, it's not like that, especially for you, Vince. I need you to keep reminding, because I feel like Big Brother's going to give him a segment, because they always do this, where we're going to see him and he's going to be like, I just feel bullied in this game. And I'm like, oh, God, Vince, stop. You're not in high school. You're damn near 40. Calm it down. All right. So once Rachel tries to kind of align with Kelly, Kelly immediately goes and talks to Adrian. That's when she starts tickling him and being all up in his space. And Adrian's like, ah. And I kind of feel for Adrian. I'm worried about him. I'm worried, you know, I don't know. We got to protect Adrian from Kelly's uncomfortable tickles as he's literally like, okay. So Kelly goes to Adrian and she's like, oh my God, Rachel came up to me because she thinks I have the diamond veto. I was like, what the fuck is it? Like Kelly again was like, I don't even know what the diamond veto is. She does not trust me and she never will. She came to me and was like, nobody would ever suspect us. So she like wants to work with me, but I'm like, not gonna work with her. Or I'll let her believe that. So yeah, she's just telling everyone, Rachel came to me because she thinks I have the diamond power veto. But it's like, what the frick is the diamond power veto? And now she's like, Rachel doesn't trust me. She's faking the funk. So again, where she could possibly, someone had a good tweet about this. Let me see if I can find it. It was a good comparison, and I was like, oh shit, clocked. I could see that. Oh, this was about Amy, but I'll read that in a minute. But where they could possibly utilize Rachel, I feel like they're just so anti-Rachel that it's, okay, fine. You don't want to return her back. Okay. But yeah, it was a mistake on Rachel's part to think that she could go do something with Kelly. Kelly you don't know what she's going to do. And she's going to go tell everyone, and that's only going to hurt Rachel's game. And so Amy is worried right now. Will's worried right now. Amy admitted that she's like an insurance person. I thought she was a real estate. I don't know. But she said she quit her job of 20 years to be on Big Brother 27. So she's panicking because she's like, if I go home, I quit my job. However, she says she has until July 31st, and I think she can go back to her job. So if they're going to evict her, they better do it soon so she can get back on that jobby job. All right. Oh, man. And then Kelly and Rachel had like a who gave up more off. There's just so much passive aggressive energy going on when those two are in the room together. I'm like, there's no way they'll ever be able to work together because the littlest things, it's combative. It's a competition where Kelly's like, I gave up a lot to be here. And Rachel's like, me too. Kelly's like, yeah, but like, I don't have anything on pause. I like gave up a lot. Rachel's like, yeah, me too. Yeah, but I like had to like give up because I think they all think Rachel's 40. She met her husband on the show. She, works in casting now. She's fine. She's got kids. And Kelly apparently had to give up being a solo backpacker wannabe travel vlogger, maybe? I don't know. I'm not really sure. Other than that, what Kelly was doing back in the South Dakota. So shout out to South Dakota. I do love me some South Dakota. Let's see. So Keanu stayed on the lie when he talked to Jimmy, and they were still working, they're deciding whether they were going to work together and be able to get over this hump that they're both like, Rachel did it. It's not we who had a problem with each other, us two men. It's obviously evil Rachel. Evil 40-year-old red-haired Rachel. Evil. So Jimmy's like, I thought you were the fifth one that voted to keep Zay. Like it was Will, Kelly, Zach, Adrian, and you. And Keanu said, and Riley. And Jimmy said, Riley voted to keep Amy. And Keanu said, Riley voted to keep Zay. Jimmy, he told me he voted to keep Amy. And Keanu says, do you believe that? So Keanu's also throwing Riley under the bus because Riley did vote to keep Amy and voted Zay out. And Riley, oh my God, he was so emo about it. I don't know what it was, but today he would like barely get out of bed. They were like, Riley, everyone's checking out like, Riley, do you want some pancakes? We got pancakes. You got to eat, Riley. He's like, I just need some time. So I don't know what's going on there. If it's just that he voted out one of his bros in the Buttburger Alliance, the Boy Buttburger Alliance, I'm not sure. So, but yeah, Will's being very open about it. And I don't know if Riley has admitted who he voted out, but a lot of people are suspecting. Obviously, he voted out Zay, and he's having like this guilt and feeling bad about it. And Jimmy's like, I don't know what to believe. So Keanu's just like being messy because he's telling some people one thing and other people other things, and they're comparing notes because that's what they do in the house. Like I said earlier today, Amy was kind of complaining about, or maybe it was yesterday, complaining about being, I feel like I have a target because I'm linked up with Rachel. And it's like, I didn't ask for this. Girl, what are you talking about? You were crying about Ashley. That puts you as a target, like I said in the beginning. And Reality TV Buff on Twitter, which is at rbuff99, said Amy is apparently making the same mistake with Rachel that Nicole Anthony made with Janelle. And I was like, ooh, hot take. Rachel's trying to help Amy in this game. Amy's playing victim. And remember how frustrating that was in Small Stars, BB22, when Janelle was literally like, Nicole Anthony, like, here you go. I'm here to help you. Let's play together. And Nicole's like, I don't believe you. And then she went from like coming off her season, BB23, and us feeling like, that was Nicole Anthony's first season, right? No, not BB23. BB19? No, BB20, BB21. That's what it was. Coming off BB21, going right into All Stars and BB22. And all of a sudden she was like, this girl is on fire. Remember? And she was like doing those like cringy videos with that guy that did Big Brother YouTube, and he was recording her, and she's like, I'm overcoming. I'm like, you're overcoming like not being ready to play Big Brother All Stars. And Janelle was like, literally, I'm trying to work with you. And she was like, no. And she just totally mucked it up because she just couldn't believe that Janelle would be helping her. And it is kind of similar to Amy with Rachel in a way. Like Rachel has proven she has Amy's back. Like she has fought for Amy to stay. Amy is, someone, I know Jimmy and them are like, we don't want floaters to get to the end. Bro, who cares? Okay. Let people get to the end that you can beat. You telling me if Jimmy gets to the end and keeps up with what he's doing and all this, and Amy keeps up with what she's doing, and people are just dragging her along to the end, you don't think you can make the case to beat her? Now, arguably, getting to the end is difficult, but we saw how Amy gave her speech to save herself. Zay gave a better speech than her. That needs to be a wake-up call for Amy. I feel like Amy's freaking final 2 speech is going to just sound like this.
You know how I got up last second? Rock, paper, scissors. I was willing to do that. Thank you.
And whoever's sitting next to her, you just have to say something better than that. It's going to be like a Jag Matt situation. Okay, unless Amy somehow, I feel like Amy can do better in this game. I really do. Deep down, I feel like she can, but I feel like she's believing the negativity. And that's why I think her and Ashley need to separate. They're not helping each other. All right, and they're just making each other more self-conscious. And they're just, I don't know what Ashley's doing. I got to figure it out because I have no idea. I was so happy when she won the power veto. I was like, yes, girl, attorney, let's get it. And now I'm like, I have no idea. I'm confused. So, we'll see. See if we have any other spoilers. Yeah, I think they're just still trying to figure out who has that third power. Hopefully, I hope that Morgan would not let it slip to like Zach, or not let it slip to Jimmy if she hasn't already. I don't think she has. That Mickey has it. They can keep it between them, and then they can use it Mickey can use it up until jury, and it can be beneficial to Morgan. So hopefully they zip their lips, because production was telling them, because they kept saying, yeah, Kelly kept going, production said don't tell anybody about the powers, but I'm just telling everybody. We know that most people cannot keep quiet about these powers. Now, Mickey technically didn't keep quiet, but she only so far told Morgan that I'm aware of. So I'm going to jump in the chat and see what you guys are saying on this Saturday night as we kind of wrap it up here. Adam McGinnis says Amy and Ashley are awful gamers together. They're a mess. They just want to target it's a mess. Adam, I'm with you. I was like, she has high hopes, and now I'm like, I don't. They need to separate, because the 2 brains together are acting as 0 brains. I don't get it. The Angel Muse is on point. Jolene, Amy had a week to prepare for a speech, and it was so bad. Angel, oh my God. She was like, "So me and Rachel." I mean, if you guys want to keep me with your game. If you don't. Just what? And then Zay went in there and he made more sense, which is so scary. Oh my God, hamburger patty, great question. Genuine question. Why do they cut the feed so often? Because they're ridiculous. And they're terrified of being held accountable for the words. And I think they want to fuck with us too a little bit, because it's ridiculous times where they're legitimately talking game, or they're just like, Ava's about to say something super funny about one of the house guests or the game itself, and they're like, we better move to the camera of, Riley picking in between his teeth and, counting his extra toe. I don't know, he doesn't have an extra toe, but you know what I'm saying? Like they'll go to something that, and it's just the dumbest times, even when they're just talking strategy, that they'll do this. And it's so freaking frustrating. I hate it. No, Jay, no one has dropped a mic in the toilet or pool yet. It's like so boring for as far as like Felicia, they should do that. Amy says they just need to tell them they can't tell. That's what we remember, Amy. That's what we were talking about last year that we wanted. They should make it where you can't tell anybody. And if you do, you lose the power. Something horribly bad happens, or it goes to some other power will be unleashed later in the game to not you, but someone who you're not working with. Somehow you will be punished, because at this point they tell people, but then it muddies the water and it can muck up the game, because then you have this whole like, well, what's fair and what's not? Because what if the way they explain their power isn't quite what the power is? Is that technically seen as lying about your power, which is supposed to be breaking the rules within Big Brother? And so now we have this situation where Kelly's like, I don't think my power does that. I don't know. And so Rachel's like, maybe she's lying. And production should just be like, she can't lie about her power. That is a rule violation, but it just gets too messy. And so they should not be able to. And also, it's just more interesting for us when people don't know each other's powers. Because sometimes, especially BB27, I think was pretty bad for this. Is all the powers we just knew right away. Remember when Jag got his power and they made it so obvious Jag had it? And I was like, this is boring. Maureen says, I just found out today that Amy told Rachel she was the accomplice. Oh, I missed that part. Did she really? Oh my gosh. Oh God. Adam says Amy's speech was a bad because she spent most of the week talking about what a nice guy Zay is. I mean, God, what the hell? The patriarchy. I think I grabbed it from a Buffy the Vampire Slayer sound effect from a Buffy the Vampire Slayer podcast. And I think it's one of the most popular Buffy the Vampire Slayer podcasts. I can't remember their name right now. But they do like songs. I think it's from them. They're so talented. Slayer podcast with songs. And it was just like part of a longer song. I think it's from the Buffering podcast, which if you're ever looking for a great Buffy the Vampire Slayer podcast, go to the Buffering podcast hosted by two women, Kristen Russo and Jenny Owen Youngs. And they dive deep in the Buffyverse. I think they're even maybe going to get into Angel. So it's really good. And they do like original songs. I think they're like real singers and stuff. So it's they have cool stuff. Lazy Buddhist, thank you for being here for 47 months. Lazy Buddhist says, where in the heck are the live feeds? You mean like, are they off right now or something? They just cut them a lot. A lot. Yeah, exactly. Please put your mic on. Cuts the feeds. Yeah, everyone knew about Jag. It was so obvious and it was so annoying. Let's see. What else are you guys saying? Yeah, I would be Amy says that's my biggest fear. If I went into the house, I talk too much and can be too much of an open book. I would just be too blunt and be like, you guys are messy. This is disgusting. That's why the ants are here. What are you doing? Why are you leaving remnants in the toilet? What's going on? And people just like being by me all the time. I'd be like, I need my space. I can't. Get away. You didn't even brush your teeth today. Kelly, you didn't brush your teeth. Kelly, don't talk to me until you brush your teeth. I can't handle it. Pomegranate says, I have all the DVDs of both Buffy and Angel. Was thinking of doing a you have to. You have to do a yearly rewatch. Like, it's amazing. I don't always do an Angel yearly rewatch, but there's certain episodes of Angel that I'll rewatch that I really enjoy. So Angel is a little darker than Buffy at times, and it's a good show, but it's not, to me, it's no Buffy. Maureen says, I think Riley is mopey because he doesn't want to be a replacement nom. He was mopey yesterday before the nom ceremony too. Sam from BB20 would get weird before noms too. Ooh, could be given some Sweet and Salty Sam. I also think a little bit of Sweet and Salty Sam vibes are being put out by Kelly. Just in how Sam was like the ultimate pick-me. She was like, I love spiders and working with Tyler. Yeah, that, Powell, you know me. You know me personally as my friend. I'd be like, this is disgusting. You guys are all disgusting. I hate all of you. Like, there would become a time when I was in the house where I would tell everyone I hate them. I just would. I just know myself. I know myself. I just would say that. I'd be like, I can't stand this. I would get like overstimulated. I'd be like, don't talk to me until my Vyvanse is processed. I can't. And if Kelly is tickling me, I'll be like, Kelly, do you want to get murdered today? Like, I just wouldn't be good. It wouldn't be good for me. I would be canceled so fast. It would be over. They'd be like, Jolene's a psycho. Yep. When you're in my space and you're leaving ring around the toilet, I'm going to be a psycho. And I would get caught talking shit. I just know I would. I'd be like, oh my God. I would do all the faces. So that's why I relate to Ava. Because Ava's just like, I would try my best to be kind, but I have a limit. Amy says, I'm blunt too. I've gotten worse. Yeah. As I get older, once you're a woman over 40, it's like, all bets are off. I'm just going to tell you what I think, and good luck. If you don't like it, there's lots of room on the earth. We don't need to be near each other. Right? Yeah. Do your dishes. Pick up. Yeah. Do you want to get popped? I'm a Lauren from Utah. Do you want to get popped? Yes. Vince might have a legitimate case. I would bully Vince. And honestly, that's why when people are like, look what Angela's doing. I'm like, I don't see a problem. I really don't see a problem. I don't see a problem. Matt was annoying. It was wonderful that he was first boot, and he did have crazy eyes. I don't get it. I know they wanted to make it into something it wasn't, but it wasn't that. You were always like this. That is just, what we've been shown as a society to believe is crazy eyes. If someone is talking to you like this, you're going to go, oh God, that's pretty intense. And he was like, he would explain things in a patronizing way. And he was, we got so lucky that he was first boot. We got so lucky that Kimu beat Chemo. What is anyone's name? Chemo beat him in the first comp, because he would have been a nightmare to watch all season. Can you imagine? Look at how he is outside of the game. Oh my God. Gross. Yeah, like I would like Felicia people. Oh, if we had more people like Felicia, more people like Angela. Yes. She is January. I was thinking about that. I was like, oh, that's some crazy Sam vibes that we're getting from Kelly. Remember how erratic Sam from BB20 was? Sweet and Salty Sam. That's why that was the first season I covered on YouTube, and we called her Sweet and Salty Sam. Because Sam was also like, like I was like, Sam is going to kill somebody. Okay. She's like, I just want spiders. And she wanted to chain smoke. We remember Sam.
If I walk out this door and I take a right, and then I take 2 lefts and another right, and walk down the hall through another door, I'm outside.
It's like Sweet and Salty Sam was great, but also terrifying. And she was a welder. That's got to do some damage. Okay. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we do need Golden Big Brother. Justice for Will, justice for Amy, justice for Rachel, justice for every person over 40 who's ever played this game with 1,020,000 somethings. and a couple 30-year-olds and tried to be like, I'm the cool. No, you're not. You're not the cool. You're like great grandparents to them. That's how they see you. Okay. Lady J, thank you for the super chat, says, yes, justice for Angela. I'm so tired of that narrative. Like, Angela, I'm over it. It was so entertaining, and Matt sucks, and he's a big baby, and nobody cares. And it was that feeling of old school Big Brother. No one was really getting hurt. It wasn't like she was like yelling out, slurs and freaking threatening his life. She said, you have crazy eyes. And okay, cool. Like, literally listen to Rachel Riley talk about her previous seasons and remember back to her seasons and all the things that were said about that chick. Rachel Riley never said, I'm getting bullied, that I remember. She just won shit and just was like, okay, well, I'll just come back. Ha, 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 I'm back, bitches. And Reagan just read her down. It was like, the only thing real about you is the pimples on your face. Go get me a drink, waitress. They slut-shamed her. They did everything. And she still wanted to play. Oh, my gosh. Oh, and Sam was the robot the first week, wasn't she? Oh, my gosh. Could be Silver. Middle-aged Big Brother would be interesting. Mm-hmm. January says, remember that scene with JC? Sam explained to him what a curb stop. Yes. That was scary. Those are legitimate scary times. Oh, shit. Those are good times. Did she? Oh, yeah, she did cry. Oh, for sure she cried and stuff. But she was dramatic. I mean, Rachel was like, oh, but Rachel had some things at times to cry about. I mean, she did cause some of the problems herself, for sure, with her horrendous social game. But also, like, she had some things that she could cry about. Michelle says, hello, fellow kids is my personality. Yeah. Hello, fellow children. Hello, fellow kids. I am one of you. And they're like, no, you're not. No, you're not. You're just not. So that's the latest, you guys. Jimmy HOH, On the Block, Kelly, Keanu, and Adrian. Keanu used his power to make it so that he could have extra help in the veto competition. And that extra help came in the form of a BB legend. Casey, winner of BB20, came in and just won the damn POV, which we'll see on Wednesday. And then, so Keanu's safe, will take himself off on Monday. Most likely Kelly will say she wants to use her power, which is the power of veto, but she has to, she doesn't just get to take herself off. She has to win a competition first, a lone competition. And then if she wins that, she can take herself off, thus leaving Jimmy to nominate 2 more people. And he plans to, again, to wrap up, nominate at this time. It could change. We have, a whole day now, Sunday until Monday, Will and Amy, with Will being the target, even though Adrian's right there on the block, and Adrian allegedly came very close to Casey, the comp beast from the challenge and Big Brother, in that POV competition. But apparently they're like, no, it's going to be fine. So Adrian is, doing the damn thing if he's able to stay in this game after showing that kind of performance. And then we'll see who wins the BB Butt Blaster on Thursday, and that'll leave us with our 2 people on the block, and we'll see where that goes. So that's what's going on. Super Christian Bonanza says the secret HOH in BB25 is as bad as the secret tunnels on Days of Our Lives. Everybody knows how to get there, like getting to Wilshire Boulevard in LA. Yeah, it's like not a secret. Everyone knew. They were like, we know. John Burrow says, are you excited Derek may be the mastermind? I'm personally hoping. Is that what they're saying? That Derek is the mastermind? BB16 Derek? No way. Really? Like behind it? Is that a joke? I haven't heard that. Thank you, Maureen. I forgot what brand it is, but I'll let you know because I'm loving it. I've been getting these new glitter eyeshadows, and they're so fun and not too expensive either. I think this one might be made by a singer. I can't remember, but I'll let you know. Oh my God, thank you. I got a beach waiver thing and I've been experimenting. I appreciate you guys. I feel like John might be pulling my leg. But wasn't Derek involved with something with, I don't know if he was involved in reindeer games. It's kind of creamy. That sounded interesting. But yeah, it has a little stick. And remind me or DM me and I'll tell you the brand because I really like it. It's not sticky. You know, some of the eyeshadows that are a little liquidy are sticky. This one isn't. As long as you don't overdo it, which I've done before, it won't get crusty or be sticky. Arno Stu 1, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you, Jolene, for the update. And Mama Female, I'll always. We got to get Felicia over here and talk to her eventually. Because we are going to talk to Angela this season. We have a couple guests lined up. I don't have the dates yet, but Angela Murray will be over here. Maybe we'll have her a couple times. I want to get her opinion on some of the house guests talking about her game, especially what's his nuts, Zach, aka Matt 2.0, Kempire, the wonderful Kempire. If you follow Pop Culture News, you know Kempire's channel on YouTube. I was supposed to have him last season. I dropped the ball, and so him and I have agreed that this season I will not drop the ball, and we will get Kempire's opinion because he loves Big Brother as well. I'm sure Busy Blue will make an appearance. I'm sure my friend Powell will make an appearance. The great Steven. Lots of fun going on. Well, Derek had a little bit of, because I covered the Karen Reed trial this year, or the retrial, I should say. And I saw some Big Brother Karen Reed spill over because Turtle Boy called out Derek, Daddy Derek, BB16's Daddy Derek, on Twitter for him, for I believe having like bad takes when it came to the Karen Reed. And you know, it was interesting to see there was a little interaction, but I don't think Derek replied to him. But I was like, oh, damn. I didn't know there was like crossover, but I forget Derek has like a crime show. So that was interesting. Yeah, always busy. I mean, we got to get busy. I mean, he's the bestie. Mark, thank you for the super chat. Brendan cried in Rachel's book. Oh, Mark.
You're a virgin.
That was good.
Who can't drive.
You're a virgin. You can't drive. Jay Fisher, thank you so much. Crazy Eyes is the mastermind. That's no mask, right? It's probably Crazy Eyes. He's the mastermind. He's the person. You saw that too, Angela, the Turtle Boy and Derek. I was like, oh shit. I was hoping it went like there'd be a back and forth, but Derek, I think, just ignored it because I'm sure he doesn't want to. I think he'd probably be afraid to get into it with Turtle Boy, maybe. Yeah, he paid no attention to it. So yeah, he does Crime Weekly stuff. So I think he's really successful with that. And I think, doesn't he have like a lady that co-hosts with them and she's pretty cool? I don't know anything about them. Sorry. I haven't followed any other trials lately. I'm just so into Big Brother right now. So yeah, go to Twitter. It was probably like a couple weeks ago now. Amy says, yeah, I didn't know he called out Derek. I listened to the deep dive on Karen Reed on their channel. They definitely got some of the facts wrong. Yeah, I think it was like early on, they were very much like, you know, Karen's guilty, all this, and then changed their tune. And Turtle Boy's like, I remember I tuned in and you had a episode and you were all in on all this bullshit. And now so it was interesting. So yeah, boring. Don't take the high road. Like engage. So there we go. Sassy says, yes, I like Crime Weekly if you need a deep dive. Yeah, it seems like they cover lots of stuff, very successful. So shout out to them. Go give them love. Go give all the creators love and support. Because there's so many creators, you can find anyone that suits your fancy. And thank you guys for being over here because you're suiting my fancy. Shout out to all my super chatters tonight. We have Bettina, Carol Ann, David, Barbara Gammer, Heather Strandberg, DM Rocks, Lady Jane, Lazy Buddhist, Lady J, Super Christian Bonanza, Arno Stew, Mark Wilson, and Jay Fisher. You guys are all beautiful pumpkin spice babies. Shout out to everyone joining in the live chat and all my wonderful mods. Thank you for your service. Don't forget to hit that like on the way out. Don't forget to leave a comment after the video post because I don't get to all of your comments in the chat. So I like to hear from you in the comment section, and I'll be back tomorrow. We have an episode. We'll have maybe some more. I mean, I'm sure we're going to have some more updates of conversations. And then Monday we have, POV ceremony. So
what's POV?
What is POV, Candy? Until next time, you guys, like I always say, enjoy yourself. It's later than you think. Good night.
If you like what you